Hi, welcome to edsguitarlessons.com. I want to share with you today on how do you determine what kind of scale you use for a particular type of music. I know early on when I started playing solos and leads, that was a big question. What do you play? How do you play it? Where do you go? And you know, what's happening here on the neck, you know, so that I can understand it better. So I think there's three basic things that you got to know when you're trying to solo. Number one is you got to know the key. You got to know the key the song's in. It's kind of easy, sometimes defined. Usually on the piece of music, it has the signature, the key signature that tells you what key it's in. If you don't have that, you're like most people. You get stuff off the internet. You can kind of determine by there's several different ways that I teach my students how to do that. One of the ways you can do it is once you know that the song is moving along, you kind of find the key, because one note will sound the best throughout the whole piece of music, and that's usually the key, okay? But this, being simplistic here, there's some other techniques you can use, but that's one. So you need to find the key. You gotta then, you also at the same time gotta be thinking, what kind of music is it? Is it blues? You know, am I gonna make... Is it rock? You know, is it jazz? So the genre of music, you know, because you're going to play differently, you're going to play certain notes that you wouldn't, and the way that you attack the notes, is it fluid, is it really accented, is it high gain? You know, there's all kinds of things we as electric guitarists have to consider. You know, how it sounds out of the amp, what kind of effects you're going to use. But genre is going to help you with that, because you're not going to have a high gain amp playing jazz. Okay, you know, and you're not going to have super squeaky clean if you're playing heavy metal. I mean, they just clash. You're not going to be attacking like crazy. So knowing the genre is important. Number three is basically you can divide, and I'm being simplistic here, you can divide music up into two classes, if you will, that there's going to be a minor pentatonic form or class, and then a major form or class. And that has a lot to do with the difference between a major chord and a minor chord. A major chord has a flat, a major third in it, okay? That's what gives it that bright, happy sound. A minor chord has a flatted third, and it really changes the whole context of what's going on, okay? Happy, sad. You like that? Okay, so you have that idea going on there. So major and minor is a big deal. Okay, so that can help direct you that if it has a minor flavor, you're going to use minor type chords, like the minor pentatonic that we're all familiar with, the Dorian, the Phrygian, the Aeolian, the Locrian. There's a lot of different chords or scales that you can use that would lend itself towards a minor feel. But if it has a major feel where everything's happy and bright, and maybe it's got a major seventh in it, and so you might lend it, it'll probably lend itself, or can lend itself, because there's so many variables, because music is art, and we can go outside the box, and we can blend things. But a lot of times a major seventh is pretty distinct. You know, it's got a major seventh note and a major third. So minor pentatonics don't go very well over those, because they have a flatted third and a flatted seventh. So those notes clash. They fight against each other, and our ear picks it up and says, something there, right here. So number one, find the key. Number two, the style of music, the genre. What are you going to do with your guitar? Is it clean? Is it high gain? Is it wah-wah? Is it a drill? You know, what are you going to use? Okay, and the third thing is knowing, is it major or minor based? Is the key major or minor? And what I do with my students is I give them a test, and I purposely set them up, and I'm going to purposely set you up, that I'm going to play this set of music. It's elevator music, okay? And I ask them, you know, to go ahead and play, it's in the key of C. I say, I'm not fibbing to you, it is in the key of C, but I want you to play the minor pentatonic over it and see what you think about the notes as you hear them being played. And that's what I'm going to do with you, and I want you to do the same thing. Play the C minor pentatonic on the 8th fret, minor pentatonic, over this particular piece, and you're going to hear that it clashes, okay? And there's a reason for that, and we'll look at that. Elevator music, so you know the key is C, you know it's not heavy metal, it's kind of elevator dentist music, okay? C sounds good. Ooh, flatted 3rd. You know, there's a couple of sour notes in there, okay? So most of my students get it. Some of them say, hey, I think it sounds great, which it's an subjective, objective thing, I guess. You know, you can decide that you like it or not. But basically, note-wise, cleanness-wise, you would want to use a major scale over this, because this is a major type chord, okay? It's a major 7th, okay? It's C major 7th to be exact. So it's got a major 3rd and it's got a major 7th, okay? And when you hit the minor 3rd and the minor 7th of a pentatonic, it clashes. Okay? So here's a major scale over this. There you have it. Now you see why those are important facts. Number 1, the key. Number 2, the style of music. And number 3 is it major or minor? If it's a major bass, you use the modes. Use the major scale and the modes, okay? It's a modal type playing, okay? And so, but you don't want to use minor pentatonic. So, something to consider when you're looking at playing lead guitar is think of those 3 things: the key, type of music, and is it major or minor? And then go from there. Use either minor pentatonic. You can sometimes use Dorian. You can sometimes use Phrygian, Aeolian, and sometimes Locrian, and other type of minor scales or keys to go with minor type songs. Okay? So anyway, thanks for watching EdsGuitarLessons.com. God bless. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time around.